Do you know who a narcissist fears the most? The narcissist fears the woman who they once thought they controlled in every aspect of the relationship. They fear the person who is no longer willing to accept that anymore. The woman who is no longer willing to stay in that role of being controlled and manipulated and lied to and just quiet for the sake of the relationship. The woman who is no longer doing whatever it takes to settle or resolve things just for the sake of keeping the peace. The woman who has had enough. The woman who has realized the toxicity of the relationship and will stop at nothing to protect her children. They fear everything that you know. They fear everything that you hold the power in exposing who they truly are. Here's the thing. Narcissists are terrified of being exposed for who they truly are. When you enter a custody battle, you realize that once a judge has ordered and signed off on something, it's incredibly hard for a judge to sign off on something. So that means that proof has had to be given to the court, presented to a judge in order for a judge to sign off on something. So if a narcissist has lost custody of their child, well, there's a reason for that. And they fear the most the woman that they were able to control for so many years being the one to expose who they truly are, especially in a legal setting. They fear the woman who is so sick of the toxicity that she will be able to shut down every single lie, false allegation, and manipulated story because she has all the proof. She's lived it. She's done it for years where she has been gaslit and manipulated and lied to. And so she has now gotten to a point of documenting every single thing, shutting down every lie, every single thing that they've come up with. She has found a way to literally shut it down. And not only has she shut it down, leaving no room for the judge to even consider what's going on at this point because there's been so much proof and evidence to shut down every single lie, but also the one who is fiercely protecting the children at all costs, knowing full well what is genuinely happening behind closed doors. They get to a point where you are not the person that they want to mess with anymore. Here's the reason why. Because narcissists have gotten away with what they do for so long to so many people. You are the narcissist supply for as long as they're getting away with the things that they are doing. And when they no longer are getting away with it, they move on. They move on to a different victim. They moved on to a different supply. They move on to somebody who is easily persuaded. They have the looks, they have the charm, they have the money, they have the cars, they have the image. And so they can move on and they can re-groom somebody else. But you are who they actually become fearful of because you know too much, you have too much evidence, you have too much proof, it's gone on too long, and you are sick of it. You are done, and you are now able to expose them in the courtroom. Here's the thing. You become somebody that they don't want to mess with because you are the very person that can expose them for who they truly are. That is a very powerful thing to understand when you realize exactly what this type of person was willing to do to destroy you at the expense of your children. When you realize that they actually have gotten to a point where it's no longer fun to screw with you because they realize that every lie that they're going to come up with, you're already ahead of it. You guys, this is what I teach in my coaching program. And it's not because I just from day one knew exactly what to do. No, I was defeated for years. I was shocked. I was heartbroken because I knew that all of this was happening at the expense of my child, going after the thing that I love the most in the entire world, to destroy and hurt me. I knew that the only way to defeat this type of person was to get ahead of them. And the only way that I knew how to do that was because I started to learn the patterns. I started to understand, oh, wow, this person actually will stop at nothing to lie or manipulate or twist, or I didn't say that. I actually said this, and then that was the response to something else. But yet they're using that response for a completely different thing. Like, oh my gosh. It is a really shocking revelation, but I'm telling you, when you know how to properly document, when you know what the judges want to see, when you know the lengths that these type of people are willing to go to at the expense of your children to destroy you, you become somebody else, and you need to get to that point where they give up. Because here's the thing. If you are a woman who is fiercely protective of her children and the well-being, and you are genuinely coming from a place, here's the thing, court is not a game of how to destroy each other. It's just not. Like, honestly, I could care less what any of my exes in this lifetime are doing with their lives. I genuinely feel that. Like, I could care less. But a narcissist doesn't think that way. They have been rejected. You wanted to leave the relationship, so they are making it their mission to destroy you at all costs. And it doesn't matter how long or how they have to do it, in a way to try to accomplish this. And the only way that you can defeat a narcissist is by understanding how they think and operate and getting ahead of it. That's it. And then when you've entered a custody battle with these type of people, the only way to defeat them in the courtroom, because you're genuinely concerned about the health and well-being of your children and what's in the best interest of them, you become, it's a different level of discernment where you have got to, get to a point where it doesn't matter what the situation is. There's documentation to make sure that you can prove that the situation happened the exact way that it happened. Not a whole fabricated way that it happened, not a sliver of the truth, not a portion of the truth, not a text of a portion of the part of the truth of it's wild how these people operate. You get to a point where you are so clear on your documentation, you require a different level of communication. You are so organized and on top of everything that you won't even have a conversation in a verbal setting because you know that you need to have it documented so that it can never be used against you in a different way. You become somebody that they fear. And you had to do all of this to protect your children at the end of the day. And so this is something that I teach women, to go from the feeling of just straight up paralyzed fear to literally being somebody to be feared. When you are somebody that leaves no room for a judge to question anything, you become somebody to be feared because you're done. You're done with the games at the expense of your children. Mess with anybody else, don't mess with my kid. Mess with anybody else. Don't mess with my kid. You want to come for me? Okay, I can defend myself. Come for my beautiful, precious, innocent, sweet child, or trying to destroy me while using this child as a tool. You get a different version. I will study this personality. I'll figure it out, and I will make sure that a judge knows exactly what's going on. You can't lie to the courts. You have to be able to tell the truth and back it up. You have to be able to debunk every lie that they are coming up with. You have to know how to do all of this, or you will lose in court. And your children are the beautiful little souls that are in the middle of this. It's really something when a narcissist is done messing with you because they just see that their games are no longer working. You're too on top of it. You're too ahead of it. If this is something that you genuinely need help with, please reach out. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to wonder what you need to be doing. You can have mentorship. I can help you every step of the way. Click on my website at joinbloomfromwithin.com if you need help.